Good morning. Just doing my morning readings. I do it every morning in honor of my dad and to help myself. I read Al-anon daily readers as well as Al-ateen daily readers. And I post them in case anyone else could use the read. So first, it's Hope for Today, December 6th, page 341. Sometimes when I'm in the midst of making a decision, I really struggle with knowing my higher power's will for me. Occasionally, I look outside myself for a sign. I'd rather see a neon light or something else just as obvious, but it doesn't often happen that way. Usually the messages are more subtle, like going to a meeting that I didn't usually attend and hearing a speaker I'd never heard before say exactly what I needed to hear. I needed to remember to look inside for signs as well. How do I feel deep inside about a proposed course of action? Is my stomach churning with discomfort, or do I feel calm, quiet, and solid? Do I feel knotted up with tension, or light, relaxed, and expansive? For me, the dilemma comes from wanting to make the right decision. If I'm not careful, I can get stuck at a crossroad of choices. I try to remember that as long as I make a decision in the context of seeking my higher power's will, whatever I do will be the right thing. Do is the operative word here. I once heard, without God, man cannot. Without man, God will not. If I don't take some sort of action, my higher power doesn't have anything to work with. Because decision making is a self-correcting process, I can use any mistakes I make along the way to eventually guide me to the right decision. Even if I decide myself into a corner, I'm not alone. My higher power is with me everywhere I go. Thought for the day. Sometimes the choices I make are not as important as the fact that I make them. In contact with my higher power, my ability to make choices works. Having had a spiritual awakening, page 68. Now one day at a time in Al-anon, December 6th, page 341. More than 2,000 years ago, an ancient philosopher wrote some words of wisdom whose central idea seems strangely modern to us who study the 12 steps. They concern the errors we humans, since the beginning of time, seem to fall into. A man is not complete who believes that his advancement depends on crushing others, or who worries about matters that cannot be altered, or who insists that a thing is impossible because he has not been able to do it. The man is short of wisdom who cannot put aside his ordinary routine in order to refresh his mind with rest, change, and meditation. He needs much help who thinks he can compel others to do what seems right to him. Today's reminder: words of wisdom inspire us, but they have value only if we take them into our hearts and use them in our daily lives. The basic truths which are placed before me in Al-anon have immeasurable power to help me. Okay. Courage to Change, December 6th, page 341. Before Al-anon, I had sworn I didn't have an angry bone in my body. Through working the steps, however, I discovered that without knowing it, I'd often been furious at alcoholics in my life. I began to recognize anger while it was happening. At first, it felt great to reclaim this suppressed part of my life. I felt more whole, more powerful. But as time went on, I began to abuse my newfound sense of power. I blamed all my problems on the alcoholics, pushed everyone away, and felt worse than ever. Al-anon has helped me to bring the focus back to myself. If I am unhappy with my situation, I can look at my part in it. I am powerless over alcoholism. Sometimes I feel angry about that fact, but anger will not change it. Today I can get angry, express the feelings Today I can get angry, express the feelings in the healthiest way I can find, and then let them go. Today's reminder: anger can give me an illusion of power. For a little while, I may feel I have control over my situation and over other people, but that kind of false security always lets me down. The only real power available to me is that which is mentioned in the 11th step, the power to carry out God's will. No one can control the insidious effect of alcohol or its power to destroy the graces and decencies of life. But we do have a power derived from God, and that is the power to change our own lives, one day at a time in Al-anon. Okay. Now I'm going to read two Al-ateen readers. The first is Living Today in Al-ateen. December 6th, page 341. I think courage is something I'm beginning to understand. About a month ago, I walked into a beginner's meeting by myself, shaking and very afraid. It was one of the scariest things I've ever done. Then the meeting began, and I began to feel comfortable and at peace. I remember telling the group that I had so many fears and worries. I thought the support of others would help. So far, I've gone to 4 meetings. Each time I get a little bit more insight and hope about my life. I'm not sure who or what gave me the courage to walk through that door for the first time or every other time, but I'm grateful. What I do now is I can't give up. What I do know now is that I can't give up. I need those people, and I hope everyone who reads this will know he or she isn't alone either. With Al-anon or Al-ateen, there is always support available to us. Things to think about. How have I shown courage in a scary situation? And then lastly, Al-ateen, a day at a time. December 6th, page 341. I've been around Al-ateen for quite a while, but it's only recently that I realized I've really never been a part of it. I'm glad I hit my bottom because I might have started working the program if I didn't. I might never have started to work the program if I didn't. The steps have unlocked so many doors that I never believed could be opened. There's an answer to all my problems in them, and they've given me direction to my life. I've found a faith in a higher power too, and I think that the key to my working the program, believing in a higher power, this writing is very small. I've found a faith in a higher power too, and I think that the key to my working the program, that's key to me working the program. Believing in a higher power lights up my whole world. Sometimes I block out the light because my self-will stands in the way. That's when I get in trouble with myself. Even in those low times, I know how higher power is still there. I never walk alone when I got this program, and that's a great feeling to have. Things to think about. I'm glad I finally woke up and realized how important the program is to me. It's given me a new picture of my life. When I try to make the program part of everything I do, I don't feel as alone anymore, and things seem to work out better than I ever expected. And that is all. Thank you.